Everybody's so quiet. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Tuesday, June 23rd. I had to look at my clock. I have no idea what day it is. I know the day. I don't know the date. Anyway, we are super excited. JoJo and I were talking today about, what should we talk about today? And she came up with an amazing topic that I think we could probably cycle back to, every month and just talk about objections, family and friends who are, giving you some negative vibes or the evil eye or whatever it might be, and how to kind of work through that and build a shield and, get your armor stronger. So that's our topic tonight. Before we jump in though, let's definitely start with some positive vibes and do some shout outs. Anybody have any gratitudes or wins this week, excitement? I know I've gotten text after text after text this week from Pam. She's had some great enrollment, so I know she's on the call on the phone. Congratulations, Pam. And gosh, so many things are happening for the wonderful people on this team, but I'm just going to shout out Pam. And I'd also I'm just going to use the stage here. I'd love to shout out to Chad. I didn't do this last week and I should have. Chad seems to get me when I'm having a moment. And Chad, you're such an amazing listener and you always just kind of put me in a positive space. So thank you for being that person.
My pleasure.
All right, who else has a win or a gratitude?
I have a quick one.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Christine, you got all good.
Chad, okay. I was really just going to say, I'm just going to say I am thankful for Isogenics, putting this stuff in my body, because today was a really rough day and dealing with the things that I had to deal with today. Given the time in my life before I had this nutrition in my body, the day would not have been as manageable. And so I'm thankful for the health that it has given me.
Love it. Thanks, Christine. Chad, did you have one?
Yeah, mine is for gratitude for my beautiful wife, who celebrated 17 years on Sunday, and who's been right along with me building this Isogenics business, supporting, and that's a lot to be said for that. So that's my gratitude for today, and our 3 kids that sprouted from the whole connection that we made. So yeah, thank you.
17 years. That's awesome. All right. Anyone else before we get started? Okay, crickets. So, all right, let's jump in. So before I pass it off to JoJo, I asked her if I could ask Christine DeSimone to speak for a minute, because every time I get on the phone with Christine, she just lights me up. And I've been here, 2.5 years, and she just started a few months ago, but she just is just so passionate about what Isogenics has done for her, and also what she just knows deep down in her soul Isogenics can do for so many people. So this is, I don't want you to be nervous, Christine. I know I asked you like 2 hours ago, but really every time I talk to her, I'm like, I need to take notes about, just your everyday conversation, because she just breathes excitement into me about this company. So I just wanted her to breathe a little excitement into us before we go into the path of objections. And so Christine, would you mind just sharing a little bit about, what Isogenics has done for you, and, how you feel like it can impact pretty much everybody you come in contact with?
Yes. And thank you, Crystal. Thank you very much. I thank everybody that I've been able to meet and work with, and like Dr. Dunsky said last night about, the great thing is we get to choose who we want to work with, and we're working with some really positive people. So you bring the same thing out of me and all of you, including yourself. So thank you. A little bit of my story, as you said, I really haven't been doing this that long. However, I have had a career in the healthcare industry for 25 years. And for about, I would say, I was thinking today about the last 10 years, I've kind of been thinking in my physical therapy practice and treatments of, treating patients, that there's always been a missing link. Like, people are staying sick and they only get so far. And I was included in that. I was a 3-star athlete. I've had multiple surgeries. I've come to realize that I was nutritionally deficient, and no wonder that I was getting injured, and how important it is at this point in my life and in everybody's life. At some point, you have to start supplementing. So a little bit of my story is, Pam and I have been friends for years, colleagues, and I don't really remember the exact day, but I do remember that I had just finished with yoga, and Pam and I were speaking, and she forwarded me a little link about the science of isogenics, and I opened it up, and for me, some of you have heard me say this, I was not skeptical. In my career, I have taken a lot of, we all take extra studies and we enroll in classes, and I have always been into the naturopathic wellness, a little bit of nutrition, but really not a lot. But this whole drink 12 cups of green tea to support your telomeres. Well, now I'm like, I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to drink 12 cups of green tea to support my telomeres now, since finding isogenics. And so I quickly said, yes, please, I need this. I was struggling to feel well, even though nobody knew that. I have a long history. I was being tested for MS, lupus, cancer. It happened to be Lyme disease with multiple co-infections. And so I was always open-minded and open-hearted of how can I feel better. And when Pam sent me the link, I was in, I ordered, and I would, like we've talked about, it's not perfect. There isn't a perfect way to do this. We just do it, and we support one another. And so I kept hearing Pam's voice on my little shoulder on days that, oh, geez, well, I ate this. And I was like, Pam's like, Christine, that's okay. Just keep putting this nutrition in your body. Just keep putting this nutrition in your body. And one day I was out exercising, and my body literally just lifted to a whole new level. And I could feel that incrementally happening. And that day, when it went to the next level, I was like, that's why Pam kept saying to me, just keep putting this nutrition in your body. Just keep, gently, she would say that to me. Just keep putting this nutrition in your body. And because everything's cumulative. If we're putting in, as we know, toxins, that cumulatively deteriorates your body. Well, now when you start putting this nutrition in your body, you have to give it time. It needs to accumulate. And the more that it accumulates, the better it gets. The more cells you reach, the more cell activity, reactivity in the brain. It's totally shifted head to toe for me. And there's that saying of heal the mind, heal the body. And again, I was never skeptical. So that's a little bit of where it started for me. And I am 100% certain about this. It's worked for me, and many of my customers, friends, family that I have trying this nutrition, all good feedback. So I feel very fortunate. I'm excited. I learn something new every day. And yes, definitely objections. This is going to be a good night for this call and for this topic. And thank you, Crystal, for encouraging me always to get on. And Jojo, you're always sending the links, and thank you as well. This, what else can I say?
I'm just so excited for you, Christine. And I know, every time I talk to you, your texts are like screaming to me, this works. This is the path. This is the answer for people.
Dave was doing a call the other day, and there was a man speaking on his call, and I texted in on a comment. I'm like, this is the golden key to unlock your best health. We can do other things superficially, but again, like Dr. Dunsky says, and that's why I'm so aligned with this, it's the functional fuel. If you don't get down, and Jojo herself being a nutrition specialist, if you don't get down to the cellular level, you can only go so far, and that's why we get derailed. That's why I was getting derailed. I was eating healthy. I was eating clean. I was exercising. My cells did not have the functional fuel. Proven.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
I could just listen to you talk forever.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm very passionate about it. You know, I've shared with a couple of people about just my dream, my big, big dream. And I hope, you know, my plan is to just work at it, really start putting things more into action and make this dream come true, because I totally believe in everybody in this company, and I believe in this product. I believe in, Dr. Bill Andrews and John Anderson. I mean, this is not the first time I've heard of John Anderson, actually. I mean, again, it's been in my career. It's been intertwined in there. So this is the missing link. It's the missing link.
Awesome. Well, I think at one point we may ask you, you know, what do those conversations look like with people? Because I know that you are just a rock star with enrolling people, and you're just sharing with passion and love and supporting people and there when they're ready. So we'll have you on again to talk, if that's all right with you, because 14 enrollments last month is amazing, and I want to know what you're doing. So,
thank you.
Yeah.
Did you share with people how funny it was that after the call, I didn't say anything because I was like, I didn't enroll 14 people last month.
I know. Text me, she's like, oh girl, thanks for the shout out, but I'm sorry, I think you're wrong. And I'm like,
there must be a mistake. I didn't enroll 14 people last month. And yes, I did. And that's the other thing. You know, if you work it, it does work. And when you step away from the desk and you don't work it, it doesn't work. And that's something that I'm having a challenge with, of going from reporting for duty every day, you know, the 9 to 5, to now I'm switching gears, which is what I want. I asked God. I was in the same place as Dave MacArthur that he shares. And that's what another thing I love is people are real. And we put it right out there. It's like, you know what, God, give me some, either take my life or give me something that shows me there's a light at the end of the tunnel that I've been asking you for. And then Isagenix showed up.
Love it. Thank you. Mwah.
Thank you.
All right,
So
we're going to
good.
end.
Chris,
That's so good.
Can I just say something quick?
Crystal, did you have something? Oh, Chad, who was that?
It's me.
Okay.
Just the way, Christine, that you share, you're sharing not up here, you're sharing with your heart just by sharing your story right there. I could totally feel that it was not coming from up here. And that's one thing that, you know, I'm trying to do. And just when you lead with your heart, when you truly lead with your heart and you share from the heart, it's such a different energy. And how you shared right there was like so calming. So I'm not surprised that you enrolled 14 people, because you can feel your heart energy. That's cool.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And you said the word love, and Crystal did say the word, and I'm thankful you brought that back up, because that's really what I'm all about. It really is. It's a love language, and I live my life of the love language. And I believe that Isagenix is about loving up on people, period. End of story. I just do. I don't see it any other way. And I'm happy about, again, what's to come tonight about the nose, because, you know, Crystal knows. I mean, I've been sharing with her, and I've been like, there are some friendships are changing because I'm changing, because this is my dream. This is my passion. And I've had some friends that have been insulting and condescending and I said to them, I said, you know, if you could have your dream job, what would it be? What would your dream job be? And I posed the question to my girlfriend in front of her husband and her, you know, her daughter. I was like, you know, because they were kind of like, oh, you know, and I was like, what would your dream job be? She's like, to stay at home and do nothing. And I said, well, this is my dream job. This is what I've done. I mean, I've been a healer my whole career. That's what I was born to do. It's woven into me. And this is just such a beautiful adjunct to just come into my life at this point. And so it's all about love. You're right. And I find love easy to share, even though some people can be really mean. But as this team has taught me, and to, you know, just take a deep breath, step back, and Dr. Dunsky touched upon it a little bit last night, which was reassuring for me, because I've been dealing, you know, with some difficult challenges, and just just move on, because it is for someone else. You know, it might not be for that person, and that's okay, but there is someone waiting for this and that needs it and that is open to the possibilities of what this will do for your health and for your life.
I appreciate everything you're saying, and every time you like say that, it like gives me a segue into helping you guys understand. We understand what it's like to be on this side of the wall. And when somebody's on the other side of the wall, all they can see is brick. So it's our job to give them a little peek over the top of the wall so they can see what's on this side. Some people will want to take a peek and some people won't. And a lot of times you're on the other side of the wall. Now you've become this other person. You're aligned with all these other people. You have this new stuff happening in your life, and they feel left out. They're on the other side of the wall. And so people will make a choice. They will come along and they will say, show me what you're doing because I want to be where you're at. Or they'll say, Christine, what's wrong with you? You're crazy. You drank the juice. These are a bunch of nut bags. You're in a cult, right? Because they love you and they think that they're helping you by opening your eyes to something that you can't see to protect you. When what happens is it takes a moment for them to be able to open their eyes to see what's on the other side of the wall. And until they get to that point, and they may never get to that point, it's just our job to love them where they're at and say, I understand that you're looking out for my best interest. Please just support me where I'm at. I know the direction that I'm on is a good one. You may not understand that right now, but just support me. No matter how outlandish you think I am, no matter how crazy you think it is, if you care about me and you love me, just support what I'm doing.
Amen.
Like, you know, if I go do something crazy and cut my arms off, okay, then maybe we can have a talk. But right now, we're just doing good in the world, right? There's not anything bad that comes from this. And so when you take a stance of unshakable belief, and this is something that, you know, if I was there with you, I would grab you by the shoulders and I would go, if the person that you thought the most, who you value their opinion the most, who you think has done everything right in their life, who you value their opinion above everyone else. If they came to you and said, Christine, and they shook you by the shoulders and they said, this is the dumbest thing you've ever done, that you could stand in your belief and say, let's agree to disagree and just support me where I'm at. I understand what you're doing, but I know that I'm on a good path. So till you understand, till you take a look, till you open your heart to at least understand what I'm doing, please don't smash my dream, okay? So that's unshakable belief, or that person who's the most powerful person in your life as far as what you believe, you can stand up to and ask them to just support you.
Thank you.
And we've all had to do that. I had to do that with Vinny. You guys, you know, you probably don't realize, because you guys haven't been around a long time to understand the story, that, you know, it took Vinny 6 years, you guys, to get this. And along the way, messed with me at every level, told me I was crazy, would sabotage me, would like I got away to go be at Isogenics events because it lifted me up and gave me positive feedback.
Wow.
It wasn't until he saw network marketing as the guy on the corner with the black long trench coat going, want to buy a watch, right? That was who he thought we were. He thought we were, you know, selling old jalopy used cars. That's what he thought network marketers were. And when he got to understand what this was about, and that he wasn't born an electrician, just like I wasn't born, well, maybe we were born network marketers, because all we do is connect, right? But everyone has the option to redefine themselves at some point. This was where I redefined myself to. And through the 14 years here, I have redefined myself multiple times just inside of this space. And so when we understand that our family and our friends are trying to hold on to us because they don't want us to go somewhere that's unsafe. They don't want us to leave them because now I feel like you're over there with all these really crazy hippie people dancing around a fire, and I'm concerned that there's something wrong with all of you, right? That's how people look at us, like we're crazy. They just don't understand what's on the other side of the wall. They don't understand what it's like to feel so good. They don't understand what it's like to help somebody have a different quality of life and have a finger in that, and understand that that paycheck of the heart is more rewarding than anything else to watch somebody's life transform. They don't understand it yet. So we just have to ask for support. Just support me. I don't care if it's husband, wife, brother, sister, mother, cousin, best friend. I get it that you don't understand just yet. Just trust that you trust me, right? So if you trust me, then trust that I know what I'm doing.
Beautiful. Wow.
Jojo, can I add to that?
Please.
So when you're on the normal, we'll call it the normal trajectory, when you're going down the path of going to a job, coming home, going to a job, coming home, there aren't dips. Generally speaking, there aren't any dips, right? You just kind of on that path, you go, Friday comes around, you get the paycheck, and there aren't any dips. The path that we're on and the path that entrepreneurs are on in general, there's a lot of dips. And I was talking to a guy earlier today. It's about responding versus reacting. We've all heard that before. But in addition to that, especially when it comes to rejection and objections from people who you're like, why are you being like this? Why are you sending me this energy? That's just a dip in the road. And if it gets to that point where it's throwing you off track, well, dude, Crystal, I appreciate you sharing that I helped you out, but I want to tell you, you helped me out too. Every single person on this call, whether directly or indirectly, has helped me out along the way. You know, you've been on, even just showing up for the call, just people showing up and giving input. Surround yourself with people who are like-minded, who have an energy that's propelling you, that's lifting you up. The only time you should look down on someone is if you're extending a hand to lift them up. That's the only time you should ever look down on anyone. And that includes anyone around us. So there are people around us who are looking down on us for what we're doing. It's like, come on, really? You know, my son with his friends, you know, we ask him to wear protective gear when he's on his little motorbike thing. And he's so sad because his friends are going to make fun of him. And I said, bud, it's so tough for a 12-year-old, right? Well, fast forward to now, because we're not on that normal trajectory, we're gonna have dips, and it's about, you know, David Wood talks about callousing up. You just want to get those calluses, and the objections, you know, you let them know, you know, I would have been offering you a disservice if I didn't share this with you. So, like Jojo said, I will agree to disagree, but I would have been offering you a disservice if I did not share this with you, and I believe that in my heart of hearts. Because I'm piggybacking what Christine said. I haven't seen nutrition like this. I tried a lot of stuff over 19 years, more than 19 years. There's never been anything like this before. So that's just my take, is that, come on, you call anyone on this Zoom right now. We're all here to help out. We're all here to have your back, because there's only a few objections. Really, there's only a few objections, and the objections have nothing to do with any of us. They have everything to do with the person that we're talking to. That's it. It has nothing to do with us. And when you get rid of that
thank you for saying that, because remembering that it's not personal, it shifts everything, because it's all about what's going on with them. It's all about coming from the experience that they've had. And maybe they've had a negative experience with network marketing, or maybe they've heard a story. And so until we understand and we offer them an open door to be able to share what their experience is, can we understand that? And because as soon as somebody shares an experience with network marketing, I'm totally open to go, I totally felt the same way. I totally felt the same way. I understand how you feel. I felt the same way because this happened. And what I found when I looked deeper is this, right? So feel, felt, found always. When I feel the same as you, then we are connecting on the same level. But I can tell you that I felt the same way that you did, and I see something different now. We all learn something different every day. Just in the last 3 months, haven't we all learned something that shifted the way we see the world? At least one thing, if not multiple things. You never know when that thing's going to come along. And we get to a point where we see this as our road out of the job, our road out of where we're at. And I'm going to bring everybody back to anybody who still has a job. That I don't call that just over broke. Like, you'll hear people call that just over broke. That irritates me to death, because I don't believe that a job is just over broke. I believe that that job is the springboard that allows you to do this thing that helps you create the life that you want to create. Because without that thing, you can't have this thing. So if we're not grateful for the little teeny shack that we live in, how can we ever have the castle? Absolutely, Wendy. Our job is our investor. It's the thing that allows us to be able to create this life that we create. Because with a job, right, you get paid now for the work you do now. Here, you do all the work first, and the residual comes on the back end. People don't get that. They're like, well, I'm working. I'm not seeing any progress. But the payoff comes on the back end of this, not on the front end. The residual income is the foundation that gets laid every single day as you decide to get up and share with someone else, no matter what somebody told you the day before.
And Jojo, that was huge. The feel, felt, found when you're talking any objections, but that was a huge statement right there. I know how you feel. I felt the same way, but I see something much different right now. And it gets people to think, you know what? They kind of relate with you, but then you're seeing things from a different angle. You're seeing things from a different set of glasses, a different lens. And when people can realize that they've been seeing through that one lens, just like they've been on that one path for years and years and years, if not decades, right? When someone offers them a different view through a different set of eyes, different lens, it's oftentimes a little scary at first. And that's a lot of times the reason that people are objecting. But Zach Slobin, a couple weeks ago, there was a call, I'm not sure if people were on, I think it was one of the Susan Sly Power Hour calls. And he said when he communicates with people, he starts with casting their vision, figuring out what is their vision. Has nothing to do with product, has nothing to do with the customer service, although it's phenomenal. All this stuff is phenomenal, the comp plan, the business. He figures out what is their vision. And then he goes through the process of, how many hours a week are you willing to work? How many dollars a week do you want to make? And then at the end of the conversation, he reintroduces their vision. So when they object or they say no, they're saying no to their own vision. It has nothing to do with anything else but their vision. And that's what people want. They want to share their vision, because a lot of people, 7 years old, the lid is screwed on the dream jar, right? We're not taught to dream after 7, 8 years old, right? And I'm, it's just not something that the world is made up of right now. They're not taught to dream. But Zach's he's like, pull their dreams back up, unscrew that dream jar, let them dream again. And when you cast their vision, it has, like Georgia said, it has nothing to do with us. We know people all around us who are experiencing their dream life. They're living their dream life. They're designing their life. Jojo and Vinny design their life every single day. Wendy's up designs their life. Crystal, we want to get to that point when we're surrounded by people who are already doing that. But it's not about us when we're communicating with people. It's about them and their vision. So But I
Perfect.
love that. I see something
Great.
different now.
We all start at zero. No one came in here and had 50,000 people in their organization. Everyone started with themselves, shared with 2 people. We all did this the same way. It's the same path over and over and over and over. And so we become masters at the mundane. People go, why do you get on this call every Monday night? Well, isn't it the same information? Yes, but it's either I'm introducing somebody new to it, I'm benefiting from it by learning how to share the information, or I'm adding something to the call. So one of those 3 things is taking place. I don't care what call it is. And so when we realize that it's our job every day is to do the same thing over and over, reach out, introduce to new people, offer a tool, offer a call, offer a conversation, offer a dream, offer a vision. Every single thing that we do over and over and over and over, just like any job. We are on an assembly line factory wheel. We just get way better hard paychecks than, you know, filling up a bottle of Windex. Right? Imagine doing the same thing over and over and over on a factory line. That is what we do, except what we get to do is change people's lives. It's so much more rewarding, even though the simple steps are just what we do every single day. And people get they're like, oh my gosh, if I get another no, but it's not an N-O. When you shift that no, that N-O to a K-N-O-W, they just don't know what they don't know. And I ask people all the time, can you agree with me that you don't know what you don't know? If you cannot agree with that statement, then our conversation's over because I'm dragging you through the mud. But if you can agree that you don't know what you don't know, and you're open to learn something that you don't know, then I can show you what I see. You're going to see it through your own eyes and your own experience every single time, but I can share with you what I see, and hopefully that allows you to see things in a different perspective. Doesn't mean you say yes, but then you understand why I do this every day. My mother's been watching me for 14 years. She has zero clue what I do all day long. Zero clue. She has no idea. But you know, my sisters, like they have no clue what I do all day long. They just see that I'm on Facebook, that I'm talking to them, but like they haven't, my own family, you guys, everyone around me, we have the ability within my family, just with the people I have around me, to have like multiple multi-million-dollar businesses. We have one. We have one because my family doesn't want to go sell anything and won't take the time to learn what could be for them on the other side. And so for me to be able to just keep loving them where they're at, I have to let the conversation go. Mm-hmm. I had my niece's husband at the time scream at me during Easter dinner because he told me he was going to go on Ambien because he couldn't sleep. And I said, hey, we have this really great sleep spray, can help you. Screamed in my face across the table that Isagenix doesn't fix everything. I'm offering you something. You're telling me you don't want to go on Ambien. I'm offering you something that could possibly help you. But because it's Isagenix, immediately it was negative. I never said the word Isagenix to him again. And then never again, not one time. Ever when he was in the room, ever when he was around, I'm just not going to go there. I don't need that. I don't need that to bring me down. I know what we do. You don't want that? That's okay. You know where I am when you want to have that conversation. Amen. Right? Heartbreaking sometimes when we have to just let people go. I see, you know, my friends, 14 years, 14 years, I've reached out, I can't tell you how many times, and said, please, like, I don't care what size you are. I just care that you have 2 little kids and I'm concerned about your health. I can look at you and see. I know that you tell me that you're unhealthy. I'm concerned about your children. And, you know, over and over and over and over, do they reach out when they're ready to do something? No, they go on keto. Makes me want to bang my head against the wall. But I have to just let them go. I have to just let them go. You know, it's a moment where you go, you have a little bit of an internal meltdown and you put your head in your hands and then you go, there's someone else out there that needs my help. I just keep going. There's someone else out there that woke up this morning looking for what we have to offer. I just keep going. I had a friend reach out today, 14 and a half years has been watching since the day we got enrolled, has never, ever, ever said one word to me about this. I brought it up, not interested. I brought it up, not interested. Today they reached out. Today, an hour before this call. I'm having health issues. Can you help me? Wow. It's just timing. So when I say it's our job to be here when someone's ready, they may not be ready because we're ready today. So I'm ready to get fit. I'm ready to take my health on. I'm ready to do all these things. And so now you're supposed to be ready too, but it doesn't work that way because that was my timeline, not your timeline. So when we allow them to be on their own timeline, then our job is to be here when they're ready. If you let this take you out of the game, then you're not here when they're ready. When they reach out and go, hey, Jarrett, are you still doing that thing? You still doing that shake thing, right? Yeah, heck yeah, I am. I'm here. Of course I'm still doing it. It's amazing. I don't care that it's 50 years later. I'm still here. Are you ready? So we laugh. Like Sherry goes, I watched for 3 years, right? I watched for 3 years. Crystal watched. Everybody's watched. And all of these things have just come back around because we keep showing up as our authentic selves of going out and spreading our love into the world and bringing people into this community that they've never experienced anywhere else. Anywhere else. There's not any job out there where you go to where somebody's not standing on your head, so you can't advance. The boss above you is always worried that you're doing a better job than him, right? All of that. I want you guys to do better than we do. I want you to beat me. We're running a race. I want you to beat me. I want you to do better than we did. I'll work all day long to help that happen. There's not any other place that you can go to that is going to offer that to you. So when people on the outside can't see that, it's our job to give them the peek over the wall so they can see. Why? Why are we here? Rarely does somebody get off a three-way call with one of us and go, oh yeah, that's ridiculous. I'm not doing that. Those people are stupid. Like that never happens, right? Never happens. Even if it's not for them, they can't say that we're not authentic and real and true, and they can't say that.
Incredible.
I've been beating my drum for a really long time right now, but I hope that and I didn't give you a whole lot of verbiage because what I want you guys to have is the feeling of understanding that this is not about you. This is about them. Anytime you get up in front of a room and you're going to speak, here's a thought, and I want you to think about this. It could be in front of a room, it could be reaching out, it could be doing whatever you're going to do. When you're worried about what you feel, you're worried about, am I going to be humiliated? Am I going to be rejected? Am I going to say the wrong thing? You're worried about that, then you are in you. You are not out there for them. This is about them. Get out of you. Does that make sense? We're worried about what's happened. So I don't want to get in front of a room and speak and worry about what's for me. It's not for me. What's going to come out of my mouth is for somebody who's sitting in that room. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what that thing is. I'm just the vessel. I'm the vehicle that leads you to the vehicle, right? What did Zach say? We're the GPS. Leading them to the destination for the information to help them change their life.
Great job.
Does that help you? Does that help you? I mean, right? And then when somebody, I just got to go, just support me. If you don't understand it, that's great. Just support me. My mom said to me, okay, so when we go to dinner tonight, will you please not talk isogenics with anybody? Like, seriously, I'm sitting there with 10 people who never stopped complaining about their health, their diabetes, their heart, their sleep, it's maddening. It's maddening. And so I said, look, do you guys all just want to sit around and complain all night, or do you want a solution? Like, if you want to just complain, that's great. Are you looking for an answer, or do you just want to complain? Right? Because when you understand that, right, it's great. You just want to complain, that's okay. Do you want to fix it? Then let's talk. We can talk about that. So she got mad at me.
You said the word, Jojo. You said the word. It's maddening. I've been feeling that way a little bit lately. It's maddening, and you just gotta like take a deep breath, step back. But it's frustrating when you have such a vehicle to help people, and I love that you share it. It's paycheck of the heart, because that's what I've been trying to say to people. I'm like, people who really know me, like, I'm not trying to sell you something. It's because I want to share this with you because I love you, and I know that you want to feel better, and your health has room to improve, and it's about love. And it's maddening. You're so right. And you know, when you say I didn't give you a lot of verbiage and you know, the feeling, this is perfect, because I'm feeling, oh my gosh, you know, I'm not alone. And it's so reassuring and it's uplifting. And that's why, right, you've said, keep plugging in. Crystal says, keep plugging in. Pam says, you know, the team, keep plugging in. And, you know, because we're like-minded and the vibration is right, and we know it's right. And we know that we have, you know, we're just loving people. And
I promise you, they won't be the last people who make you mad. Like mad, like a Mad Hatter mad. They won't be the last people.
Mm-hmm. Which is why when we are able to go to events again, they are like, it feels like I don't know. I've seen peace on earth in my mind, and that's what it feels like. It feels like you're home and you don't have to explain yourself. Everyone gets you, and it just feels like bliss.
No judgment. Can I share a quick little story?
Sure.
Talking about not giving up, it was a little over a year ago. I met the bartender at Outback, and we talked. And I would go in there frequently to get my little grass-fed burger. And then probably about a month or so before COVID, she quit. But she said, here's my number. Let's stay in touch. And I really didn't talk isogenics much to her, but I just kind of did in the beginning. And she was like, And so then she reached out about a month ago, or no, when we were doing check-ins with people. And I reached out to her, and she was like, yeah, you know, what is it again? And I gave her a recommended cart. And she said, oh, that's a little too much. You know, I don't think I want to do it. But she had told me she was wanting to stop smoking. She's got a 4-year-old. She'd put on weight. You know, things just weren't going in the direction she wanted. And you know, I felt like maybe I was a little harsh, but I just said, you know, do it for your child. I mean, she's 4 years old. You know, think about her for the smoking and the drinking and the examples that you're setting for her. And so she said, well, let me think about it, and I'll contact you later. And yesterday she reached out and she said, okay, I'm ready. Can we get it under 150? So today when I talked to her, I said, what changed? And she said, well, I realized how much I was spending on smoking. And I said, oh, and then the wine, because she had forgot to mention that. And she said, yeah. And she said, and it totaled more than that. So that's where I'm going to switch my money to. So she enrolled today and is allowing me to coach her. But I had learned, you know, after that year to not be attached. And it's so hard. But once, like you said, Jojo, you just stick with it and you just stay on these calls and build that confidence, and you know that they'll come around because you know that they have a solution. And then the energy that you put out there with no attachment, they don't feel harassed or, you know, whatever the feeling is when you kind of attack people, and it just changes the vibration in a totally different way. So
totally.
thank you, Crystal and Jojo, for your coaching.
Thank you. You bet. Vinny, are you out there?
Yes, I'm here.
Be out there.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
So I just thought maybe it would be good to hear from, you know, a hardcore early on skeptic.
Well, you pretty much said the whole story. When JoJo got involved in this almost 15 years ago, sorry I have my video off. It's weird behind me right now. But so I was really skeptic about it. I thought she was joking. I mean, she was a blackjack dealer and stopped blackjack because she wanted to open up her own businesses, and that was her tanning salons. So, you know, I'm like, okay, cool. So she opens up her tanning salons, and she ended up opening up 3 of them, and they were pretty profitable. And everything was going along well, and she found this, and she just came up to me one day and she said, I'm going to start doing this full time, and I'm going to sell the tanning salons. And I thought she was nuts. Literally thought she was nuts. I wasn't on board with it. I bucked her at every moment, every time. I believed in the product because I took the product and I knew it worked. However, the whole network marketing behind it, I didn't believe in. I thought it was a bunch of used car salesmen, you know, selling their snake oil and just any possible objection you may have heard. I probably use every one myself on JoJo. There's nothing you could probably hear right now from anyone that I didn't say myself. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was a scam. I didn't think she could make any money. I figured she'd make a little money at first, and then she would stop making money, and I was wrong. And it took me probably 6.5 years, maybe even 7 total, to actually see that this was a real business and a real life-saving change to not only my life, but a lot of other people that she's worked with. And I feel really stupid sometimes thinking that I waited that long to get on board, but we all have our own time, right? I've had people ask me, could you talk to my husband because he's a skeptic too? Yes, I can talk to your husband, but I don't know what's in your husband's head. I can't convince him of anything you can't. I can just tell him this is my experience, and it took me 6.5 years. So is your husband or wife going to take 6.5 years? Who knows? It might take longer. It might take 6.5 days. It all depends on what they think and how they feel. I just know for us that I'm actually glad that it took me so long to see this as a real business and a real opportunity for us and our family to, you know, succeed in life, because it made me understand what other people think now. When I do hear the objections, when I do hear the skeptics, I understand them. And I said on stage when we were named the 164th legacy millionaires in this company. Now, I had literally just had neck surgery too. That's a funny story. I'll tell you later. Kathy Cooper beat me on my back, and I was in stitches still. But so we were named the 164th millionaire on stage, and they pulled us out of the group of millionaires to speak. And I told everybody in that arena that, you know, don't be like me. I was stupid. I literally wanted JoJo to fail at this business just so I could be right about the business. And that's just a bad place to be. And I'm really glad that I saw the light and I came along, but I can't promise anybody else will. I can just say that this is a great opportunity for everyone. I wish everyone could see it, whether it be in, as I said, 6 days or 6 years. It really doesn't matter the time frame. But if they could see it and know that they're not strapped to a job, they don't have to go out and work for somebody. You know, think about it. When you go to work with an employer, you have to ask that employer to do everything, including when you can eat, when you can use the restroom most of the time. I mean, especially in like my line of work where I work construction, we had to basically get permission to go use the bathroom. How sad is that? We're grown adults, and we have other adults talking to us and treating us like children. We all should be able to own our own business, and the opportunity is always there. I just wish more people would see the opportunity.
Thank you, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, that my biggest why, next to wanting to free myself and get Vinny out of the electrical union, which was a huge why in the beginning, my biggest why was so no one ever had to make the choice whether or not they had to get a paycheck or go to their kid's ball game. That was my biggest why, is because I wanted somebody to be able to go, I'm going to be at every one of my kids' games, and my boss isn't going to tell me I can't go. I don't have to be at work. So that was my biggest why, is I just wanted somebody to be able to go, I can be at every single one of my kids' games. Right? It was just such a big thing for me. And it kept me going through times like that were difficult. So Crystal, I'm handing it over to you, and then we're done. Thank you guys for everything.
Can I throw in a hashtag real quick?
Hashtag?
Yeah, Nick Connor a few years back, he and Steph had a hashtag, and it was look at the little, when she says goodnight to little munchkin. So the hashtag was hashtag full-time family. Hashtag full-time family. So what does that mean? Your work, if you want to call it work, because Isogenics can oftentimes be, so fun that it doesn't even feel like work. But that means everything else is part-time, full-time family. Hashtag full-time family. So that's all. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, everyone. This is a good call. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great call. There's so many things. I didn't want to interrupt anyone. I'd love to just add, we live up the driveway from my husband's parent, mother and grandfather and aunts here all the time, uncle. We have his family all the time. I'm reading Robert Kiyosaki right now, and he's talking about, how we don't learn in school to be entrepreneurs. We are taught to be employees. And I kind of had this aha moment a little, maybe a couple months ago, because my husband's family is so, not for Isogenics. I mean, literally his uncle wrote me a 2-page letter on how he would never support a supplement as a pediatrician. So we started. But, they're kind of I remember his mother-in-law, when I went, I'm going to go do a call. Are you doing that as a business? I'm like, yeah, I think I am. And she's like, oh, Crystal, and that was the first thing she ever said to me about Isogenics. And now, 2 years later or whatever, I'm at the point where I'm like, it's okay for them not to understand this. And I don't have to hide it. And I don't have to not talk about Isogenics around them. And I don't have to pretend to go to the bathroom so I can be on the phone with somebody, because now I get it and I'm loud and proud about it. And I just had to get there for myself. It had nothing to do, with just that whole dynamic. I just had to understand that, I'm proud of this. And oh my gosh, this is actually, you guys, an amazing business model, for those people. And I know when I'm ultra successful, they're all going to be referring Isogenics to me, because that's just how it's going to happen, and that's going to be fine. But, I remember that because they all went to college, they got a job, they worked until they couldn't work anymore, and then they will hopefully have some money when they retire, and that's just how life is supposed to be. And, we have to give some people grace when they're there in that mindset, because I was there before Isogenics. I'm just going to try to build enough savings to hopefully retire one day. That's what most people think. So this is just, it's just different. And that just came up. I wanted to share. So thank you, JoJo. This was an amazing call. Christine, thank you so much for sharing your story and your passion, and Chad for chiming in.
May I add one more thing, Crystal?
Yeah.
You mind? Just
no.
One more quick thing I wanted to mention when I was speaking. I'm not a fan of the term JOB, as in just over broke. The reason I wanted to say this is because when I worked as an electrician, I was making $40 to $50 an hour, $100 an hour on weekends. I wasn't just over broke. I was making really good money. So when you start a conversation with somebody in network marketing and say, well, you need to get away from your JOB, just over broke, that's kind of insulting to some people. And I just think it's rhetoric we need to stay away from and start just speaking to people from our hearts, and not worrying about what they do for a living right now, because what they do is going to change, but what they do is what supports their family at the moment.
Yeah.
And Crystal, Can I share one thing too?
Absolutely.
So because this whole call is about no, meaning yes, right? So I want to share my SW times 4.
Please, I love it.
So SW times 4, what does that mean? It means some will, some won't, so what, someone's waiting. Next. Now repeat that and keep repeating it and keep repeating it, because don't ever give up. Don't ever give up.
What a great way to end. Thank you, Sherry. That was awesome. So true. All right, love you all. Thank you so much. Great call tonight. Thanks for being here, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Christine. Thanks, Chad.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man. Thanks,
So
Jen.
reassuring and gives back hope. Nice.
Totally.
Ride in the wave. Ride in the wave.
Mm.
Christine, you're amazing. Have a great night. Tomorrow's going to be a wonderful day. I know it
Thank
will.
you.
Love you, girl.
Love you
Night,
too. Good night. Bye.